I want to talk more about abundance and growth. It's such an important thing, and really starting to get this concept about being on a trajectory that every day things are getting better. Every day you're letting go of what needs to be let go of. Every day you're growing. Every day you're expanding. Every day you're feeling more and more confident. You know, that trajectory, that growth curve, that's so important. Accelerated learning, that's the bit that I want to talk about next. If you do things the way everyone says you should do them, they're generally going to be wrong, okay? If you look for quantum and abundance shortcuts, you're going to get different results. Because when I was at school, I learned French, and the way we learned French was to learn a word and then cram in as many other words as possible and practice the pronunciations. And it was very linear. If I'm honest, it was very, very painful, very abstract, didn't really get very far at all. But then years later, I learned French a different way from a guy called Michel Thomas. Genius when it came to teaching languages, and you know, French happened to be the one I learned, but he taught lots of different languages, and he taught it in an accelerated learning fashion. And the first thing he did right at the beginning of this language course is he said to all the students, and he had live students on these audios, and he said to them, I want you to think about an English word. I think it was action. It's actually a French word. And he said, and you know, the I-O-N on the end it's a French ending. So when you say action, you don't say action anymore, you say action. And when you say action, you've got a French word. He said, but now that you know that, you've got like 20 or 30 or 50,000 words that you've just learned. Okay, now that's quantum. That is a 10x breakthrough once you understand that. Because he said, you know, if you say the word nation, don't say nation, say nation. And if you say national, say national. And if you want to say international, say international. And so on and so on. He said, I've literally just given you 20, 30, whatever it was, 1,000 French words. You don't need to sit there and cram 10 and another 10. You've got thousands, tens of thousands. And it was mind-blowing. And he kept going through that process of giving you little tricks, little connections that opened up a whole new realm of learning. And it's really, really clever. And that's one way of thinking of accelerated learning. Another way I want you to think of it, because I want you to get so much from these 7 days, and the more you open up this quantum growth energy, the better. And it is all about energy, of course. So the other way to think about accelerated learning with French, you want to learn French, but you've got no real motivation other than passing a test or academic intellectual stimulation. Yeah, it's not always very rewarding, especially if if you doubt yourself, if you've got beliefs like, I don't know if I'm clever enough, I don't know if I've got the skill, I don't know if I've got the aptitude for this. Think about this. If you go to France and you sit in a cafe in Paris and listen to the radio and listen to the conversations going on around you, and you immerse yourself in the culture, and you really enjoy yourself, things just start to take care of themselves, and you start to learn the language very, very naturally. And also, if you're living in a country, you kind of have to learn things, so it becomes part of a necessity. The other thing is, I remember a guy from school, and he really wasn't very good at French at all, didn't enjoy learning French, you know, probably had all these affirmations of, I'm not very good at this doesn't come very naturally to me. However, he went on a trip to France, and I always remember this guy, fell in love with a French girl, had a French girlfriend, fell in love with her. He's learning French suddenly, very, very quickly indeed. All of a sudden, he's very motivated, and it's all just coming alive for him, okay? When you're in your source code, when you're in flow, when you're really connected to the universe in that intimate way, everything gets easier, everything gets faster, and accelerated learning and growth and abundance become very natural. And when it comes to your life, when it comes to your business, when it comes to creating your true path and your true purpose, in a very practical way, you want to be looking for this energy. You don't want to be forcing things. You don't want to be frustrated. You don't want these affirmations of, can I do it? Is it possible? This is so hard. You know, you don't want that nonsense. You want affirmations of joy, fun, adventure, etc.